Hello and good afternoon from Barbados, and good evening and good morning wherever you find yourselves in the world. And welcome to Rejuvenesce TV, and myself, Sue Alexander, and Reg Lenny.
Hello and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and you're at the right place at the right time, where our whole focus is your health and wellness, and this whole TV channel is dedicated to your highest well-being. And we're here to share some of our wisdom, our tips and information from specialists all over the world that can really support your journey to ultimate well-being. And our whole focus is that everything affects everything. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, then send a WhatsApp to our producer. The number will be running along the screen later. Send in your questions if you have something that will really help you to empower yourself. We also have an amazing support group on Facebook, Rejuvenesce Facebook group, so please ask to join us. And we also have our website, rejuvenesce.com. So lots of different ways that you can reach out to Reg and I, and we have a combined 70 years of industry knowledge and information. Combined, we have over 20 different modalities that we work in, and we are here really to support your highest good. So today our focus is all about the environment and how it really, really affects you. And the strategies that we use are based on Reg Lenny's book, The 10 Vital Keys, which is an award-winning program that is designed for your ultimate health. And so I'm going to really hand over the show to him today, but we also have an amazing guest, Adam Goodrich, who will be joining us shortly to discuss the interior design element of how that can really affect your well-being and how important it is to be surrounded by the right things. So Reg, share with us your wisdom today about how important the environment is.
Environment. So I've written a number of books about health and wellness after almost 30 years of traveling the world and working with some of the biggest names on the planet, from professional sport athletes to actors and even royal families. And I learned some very valuable tips that I just had to share and write a book about in order to help people to understand how to achieve and maintain very high levels of mental and physical performance, while also living the life that you want to be living in the body that you want to be living in. You know, we see so many fad diets and so many fad this and fad that and different programs and different mentorship things that just don't seem to work for the majority of people. So my whole goal was to make it simple, to bring it all together in a very strategic and simplified way to help you incorporate that into your life. And also a key fact about the 10 Vital Keys is it's not a program that you have to fit into your life and then try to fit your life around it and figure out how to do what I do. Rather, the whole thing about the 10 Vital Keys is creating the awareness about these 10 different areas so that you can create your own program. It's not a matter of fitting your life and your needs and goals into my stuff. It's my stuff will fit into yours. And that's what makes it so unique and so different and also so easy to incorporate. So if you go onto rejuvenesce.com, you'll see the booklet on there, the multi-award winning 10 Vital Keys, and you can download that. And throughout the programs that we're going to be doing every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here live, we will be going through different sections. And today is environment. So Charlie's got some slides that he's going to bring up and share with us. And if we can bring up the first slide on environment, we'll see that the key is to just be aware of the feelings of it. You know, many people think that your environment is just some place that you hang out. But the reality is your environment can dramatically affect all aspects of your life, whether that be your romantic success, your physical success, or your employment success. Environment really is the encompassing goal of everything. And your environment can also ensure that you're living the life that you love in the body you live in, or your environment can make sure that you are missing your goals. You're gaining weight, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling low, your energy levels are low, and nothing really seems to be working in your life. If you're living in that type of environment, you will clearly understand why it is that you're not achieving what you want to achieve. And that's really it. So that's why we use the tree of life, to explain the environment. And Charlie, if you go on to the next slide, we can also start taking a look. Next one yet? We can start taking a look at the chemicals and the products that you use in your house. So it's not just the look and feel of your home and how you actually feel when you're in it, but it's the chemicals that you're using. And again, these aren't just the chemicals you use for cleaning. If you think about toothpaste, laundry detergents, household cleaners that you use to wash the floor or wash your dishes or wash your laundry, all of these different things have a dramatic effect on how your body functions. We always talk about environment, and Sue and I have many times talked about the things that you put on you, in you, and around you. The last couple of shows we were talking about detoxing and fueling your body and the types of foods you put in your body. But just and equally as important is the products that you have around you. Because if you've got skin irritations, you get headaches, you have a problem losing weight, or you feel inflamed and you've got a lot of swelling in the body and inflammation, aches and pains, all kinds of ailment and disease will come from your environment. Let's go to the next slide, Charlie. And if you become aware of all the different areas of your house and also what you bring into your house, as simple as what you bring in on the bottom of your shoes. When you're out walking around and then you come into your house, anything you've been walking through will also come into your house with you. So again, these things can affect all aspects of who you are as a person, how you actually feel. And you'll know this. You know that you've got different moods and different things that affect you. And one moment you might feel really happy and healthy and you sleep really well and it doesn't really matter what's going on around you, you can deal with it. Other times it's completely the opposite. You're upset or depressed and you don't know why. You're gaining weight and you feel crappy no matter what, and you don't know why. You're not sleeping well. You're getting headaches. You get buzzing in the ears. Your eyesight starts to go blurry. You might start getting skin blotches on you. All kinds of different health and wellness things. This is when we talk about detoxing and cleansing and the importance of your environment. Secondary to this, and equally as important, is the people you share your environment with. You can take the slide down, Charlie. And the people that you share your environment with is equally as important as the environment itself, if not even more important. Now, Sue and I have also, we've gone through life experiences and had relationships with different types of people, whether that be business or personal relationships. And it dramatically affects who you are as an individual. And you know this for yourself without me even telling you. You know, you could be at a party and all of a sudden somebody will come in and everything will change. Just the way you feel about being there will change. Now, if you think about going home after maybe a day of work, or you've been down at the beach, or wherever you happen to be spending your time, and you're heading home, how do you feel about going home? Do you feel comfortable and, oh, good, I get to go home and hang out there? Or is it, you know, you're going to take the long way around, you're going to sit and play on your phone, you don't really want to get in the house? How about when you get right up to your home and you put your key in the door and open the door and the door opens and you're going to walk in? How does that make you feel? If you become aware of those very simple little strategies and techniques, you will automatically know what's wrong and if there's something holding you back from being the best version of yourself. Now, if you're sharing your living space, the space where you need to be the best version of you, and that's where you recharge and refresh and become the real you that you really are. If you're sharing that with people who are bringing you down, who are stifling you, who are belittling you, judging you, holding you back, who maybe have an ego problem, so if they see you starting to succeed and do really well and you start becoming happy, you almost see that they're becoming the opposite. You know, and you often wonder, well, you're living with these people who claim to love you or claim to want to be in a relationship with you, or they're a family member who should be supporting and guiding you, but yet the better you seem to be doing, the more upset and unhappy they are. And you've got to become aware of that kind of thing, because being true to yourself also means being bluntly honest with yourself and being the best version of yourself so that you can support others or be a better parent or be a better friend or be a better partner or be better at your career. You need to be aware of how you're spending your time and who you're spending it with. And if you're spending your time with energy vampires, you're spending your time with people who just want to bring you down, who hate to see you happy and successful, well, you need to be bluntly honest and make some tough choices in your life. Because you cannot wear two masks. You can't pretend to be something in one aspect and then pull it off in another. Because as Sue always keeps saying, everything affects everything.
Yes, it does, and I think also for a lot of people recently in the last year, working from home and educating children from home has layered another element to it. So, Reg, how would you advise people who are working from home? What kind of things that can they do to break the difference between work time space and family time and you time? You know, whether that's a partnership or you're on your own, it's suddenly become an issue, and we hear this so many times in our mentoring programs, because we do a lot of one-to-one coaching with people. And over the last year, people have really struggled with defining the boundaries of when work finishes, family starts, or relationships start. And certainly statistics will show that so many relationships on a personal level have broken down because people are spending more time together and they're not able to cohabitate and work. So what can people do to really, just create boundaries? What would be your advice?
Yeah, I think it comes down to one word, and that's respect. Respect for yourself and respect for others. And when it comes to your family home, the key word there is family. I walk in, Sue and I do a lot of coaching work around the world with all kinds of different people in many different situations and many different revenue brackets. So it doesn't matter if you're hugely successful and wealthy or if you're working and living in meager terms. It still comes down to respect for yourself and respect for others. So when you're living in a space, like one of the things that I always do when I walk into a client's home is I ask, who lives here? Who is this home designed for? When you walk in, you kind of look around. I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people about that, and people they have a difficult time grasping that. And I know it's kind of an ongoing joke where, especially with a wife or one who's kind of overbearing on one side than the other when it comes to the home environment. You might walk into the home and you go, well, who's represented in this home? Who actually lives here? And you say, oh, well, I see a lot of pink, or I see a lot of flowers, or I see a lot of whatever. Whether it's very masculine or very feminine things in the majority of the house. And you say, are both people represented here? And one of the partners usually kind of laughs and goes, no, they're terrible at that. And you can't have their taste in here because their taste sucks. Well, what do you actually say? If their taste sucks, that means that them as an individual sucks. And if you're saying to your partner, or if you're saying to other people about your partner that their taste sucks, or the children aren't represented in the home because they don't have good taste, well, you're immediately creating an environment of failure and depression and stifling and low self-esteem. If you walked into a place, if you're the dominant in your family and you walked into a home or something with somebody else, and your partner said to other people, my wife, she can't, or my husband, he can't, terrible taste, and I don't want to listen to his opinion because he's got bad choices, you're going to feel really bad about that. So now thinking on the bigger scheme, you go walking into that house. Every time you walk in, you're there, you think, this isn't my house. This is their house, and I live here, but I don't feel comfortable to live here. This is not a place where I can become me, where I can let the real me out, where I can be the person that I need to be to grow and expand and be supported and encouraged to be the best version of myself. No, because you're stuck in an environment that you don't belong in. And not only do you not belong in, but you've already been told that your opinion and your thoughts and feelings and needs and wants suck or don't belong in there. Well, automatically you're bringing yourself down. And that is the self-destruct mode of most relationships. And that's where we see relationships falling apart. I'm sure you see the same thing with clients that you work with. That's the key to it, as far as I've seen, traveling around the world, working with thousands and thousands of couples. First and foremost, your home needs to represent everybody in it. Your home is not a show home because you care what the next door neighbors or what your friends think when you come in. The most important thing about your home is how you feel in it and how each individual in the home feels about being there. And they all need to be represented on an equal ground. And also on the flip side, that brings people around to feeling like they are a vital part of that environment. You know, a lot of times, especially with kids these days, they spend their entire lives on the computer and on the phone. They don't have to cook, they don't have to clean, they don't do their clothing, they don't clean their room, they don't do anything. They just basically show up, I'm hungry, or I'm playing my game, or bring me something to drink, or whatever, and then they sit and they do something. You know, and they don't feel that they're actually a vital part of the family. And the most important thing that people need for growth and self-satisfaction and self-improvement and self-worth is to be a vital part of something. And it's not chores. It's not you have to do this, and then when you do this, I'm going to give you money or I'm going to give you a treat or whatever. No, you're a vital part of the environment, a vital part of the family. Just like the wife is a vital part, or the husband is a vital part, kids are a vital part. And everybody's got their roles to play, and it's the together family home. Coming back to that key word, family home, where everybody has a role and an input and a part to play. And I promise you, you start living an environment like that, and everything will change. And to come back down to the question that was asked, how do you find that balance in there when people are stuck at home in that work? Respect for each individual's needs, goals, desires, and space. And also you can look at the needs that those people have if they're having to work in there as well. You know, just like us, you know, in the environment that we're in here, we have to close things down and we got to just make sure that this is set up right for this, right? And then after this is done, we can open it up and then it's free for other people to use as well. But certain times for certain things. And I always also say one last point, so I don't blabber on too much, is your schedule. Get your schedule together. And it's not just a daytimer where I have to do this or have to do that. I always say write down 4 key things. So here's your time to pull out your pen and piece of paper again. Write these 4 key things down that you are going to incorporate in your everyday schedule. Number 1, you've got your have-tos. You have to get up in the morning and whatever, go to work, feed the kids, or have your breakfast, or do your exercise, or whatever. You've got your have-tos. You have your need-tos. You know, you need to do the laundry, you need to, you know, feed the animals, you need to do all these different things. You've got your have-tos, your need-tos. You've also got your want-tos. You know, I want to do some exercise or do something different or plant a garden or learn a language or whatever. You know, those are your want-tos, or you want to go out on a date, or you want to cook dinner, or you want to. You know, that's a third thing that you add in. And then the fourth thing is, I would like to. You know, that's the kind of thing, oh, I would like to go on a holiday. I would like to learn to play an instrument. I would like to learn another language. You need to have all 4 of these things put into your schedule on a daily basis. I don't care if you spend 5 hours doing it or you spend 5 minutes. But every day of your life, you have to have something from those 4 lists. And that's a living list. So I would suggest you have just a journal or a piece of paper, something where you're always adding to it. You know, you want to, you need to, your have to's, and I would like to's. And keep adding to this list. And as you add it to your calendar, you can take it out of the list, right? And add those things constantly. And so that's alive. So every day you are doing the things that you have to earn money and to maintain the home and to maintain your family and your health and whatever. But you've also got those little treats that you're taking care of yourself and you're expanding your mind and your excitement for life, you know, for being alive, for living. Because if you're only focused on the have to's, you know, this is where depression and obesity and failed marriages and failed relationships and failed careers and all these things come from. Because you can't find fulfillment and happiness doing just one thing in your life. Because you are a multi-dimensional individual. You're a unique soul. You've got all these different masks, all these different personality types that are in you. You've got who you are when you're with your friends. You've got who you are when you're with your partner, or when you were at work, or when you're out by yourself, or when you're with your parents, or whoever. All these different personalities of who you are need to be flourished and loved and encouraged. So when you do that and you incorporate that into your environment, as Sue says, everything changes and everything affects everything.
So one of the things that I always like to share with my clients and ask them to do is when walking into their home is to really make a list of how each area in your home makes you feel. And this is really important, and many years ago I did a lot of work with Feng Shui, and it's very, if you haven't heard of Feng Shui, that's a discipline which is an ancient Japanese art, helps you very much with the flow and the energy of life. And what it will do is it will allow you just to see if it's a natural flow in your environment. And we're talking about our home now, but this whole environment expands out to things that represent you. So, it is your garden, it is your car, it is everything. Everything affects everything. So as you walk in through the front door, as Reg said, how does that actual physical space look for you? How does it make you feel? But also, what fabrics are you using on the floor? What elements are around you that make you feel happy, that actually you attach your feelings and your emotions to, that are a very positive thing? Or is there, when you walk through the door, piles of unopened mail, lots of bills sitting there waiting for you not to open them because of fear, and you actually fall over things that you should have picked up 3 or 4 days ago? Is it a happy space for you to where we restore and rest? Because our home is an extension of us. So if your home is uncomfortable, and I know Reg will always say this, that I can't do anything unless the house is perfectly organised, because that's how my brain works. I have to be in an environment, my desk has to be organised, and everything has its place and every place has its thing. And if I'm organised that way, that allows me clarity. So where are the sticking points as you flow through your house? And there's some wonderful ways, there's some great books that you can have a look at just to see the layout of your home. Does it actually suit your constitution? Is the environment in actually reflective of the place that you want to be? And again, that's an extension of the weather. And sometimes the weather can make you feel really rubbishy. Other people's energy can make you feel really rubbishy. If you have noisy neighbours that are playing loud music at unreasonable times of the day, or you can hear other people shouting and arguing, that's going to have an imbalance in your well-being as well. So it's really important, certainly when you are deciding where you want your environment to be, that an extension of yourself, your home, that you actually make a very considered choice, that this is going to be something that is going to help you in your career. It's going to help you be a better mum, better dad, better partner. It's going to help you to be truly in alignment and balance with who you are. So when we walk through the hallway or wherever your first space is in your home, is that reflective of just making you feel welcome and happy and settled, so that you can decompress on arrival, not feel that level of anxiety.
Yeah, it's an extra level of stress.
Exactly. So, how many people, as Reg said, walk through the front door and everything was fine at work because you had it all organised, and then you get through the front door and you just feel that energy going, and then you get angry and stressed and frustrated. I mean, we coach a lot of people who, again, are really not even realising that that's where their stress points are. And then where do you relax? Do you walk into, let's say, your front room? Let's take your lounge, for instance. And what is the main feature in your front room? Is it a comfy sofa? A comfy sofa, even. Yeah, a comfy sofa. Where you can decompress, you can relax, you can be calm and quiet and peaceful. Or is it a massive, great big TV screen that is just going to blare everybody else's chaos? Yeah. And then what you watch on that TV is going to be very reflective of your thoughts and how that makes you feel. And space is very, very important. And that's why we have Adam Goodridge coming on shortly, just to really discuss, what we can do to change that environment. So look at how your living space affects you. And a lot of the time when we're coaching people with eating issues, eating disorders can be so varied, anything from people that are not eating correctly and could have, whether it's obesity or bulimia or anything in between, if they're not happy. It can be because of the setup in your kitchen.
Absolutely.
In your kitchen.
Well, your environment in general.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, have you got the right things in your kitchen to reflect the kind of food that you want to create? or is it actually a chaotic place where you can't find anything? And I always say to my clients, when I'm on a detox with them or I'm helping to coach them, and Reg does the same, have you got a juicer? And 9 times out of 10, people will say to me, yes, it's in the cupboard somewhere.
Yeah, never use it.
Exactly. So, the things that are going to make you well and make you healthy, have them in the forefront of your time and mind so that you can quickly use them, whatever that might be. And then if we flow through to the bathroom, is that a space that is clean for you to be clean in? Is it a calm space where you, again, can revitalize and restore? Because if it's not, then that, again, is going to reflect your inner and outer health and well-being. So just, I'm just trying to share with you how each space needs defining. And as we go on to the sort of the workspace, Reg, what would you recommend and how people set up their workspace?
Yeah, that is very vital because, again, like you said, if things, everybody's got their different comfort zones on where they feel comfortable working. But just ask yourself this. When you go into a space, are you looking around and going, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that and I should have done this and all that needs to be fixed and this and that every time you walk into it? Because if you are, that is draining you of mental thought, of energy, and of the ability to be able to focus on what it is that you really want to be doing. Because your mind automatically looks for all the things that you should be doing or could have done or wanted to do or would like to do, right? And this comes back to my list of 4 things, right? To write down the things that you should do, and organizing around your home or your environment is a vital part of that, because the sooner you can clean stuff up, the better it is for you. And the reality is it doesn't take nearly as much time as you'd think it would. And you are spending far more time not doing things than you would be if you actually just did it. And this is something that I personally do. I put in my calendar 15 minutes every couple of hours that I just go and do something that needs to be done. And it's amazing how much you can achieve in 15 minutes. But I've got clients with really, really busy schedules that spend as little as 5 minutes doing something. Go and just clean out one drawer, or clean off one desktop, or repair one thing. And it's amazing when you start just every day doing 5 minutes up to 15 minutes of repair or organizing or cleaning or whatever, by the end of the week, all of a sudden your whole environment starts to change. And then you'll see you've all of a sudden got more energy and you start feeling better. And another key thing that you mentioned about when you come in, a lot of times that people with obesity problems or they have problems with their health, chronic health problems, or addictions, you have to have a drink, you have to have the cigarette, you have to do some drugs, you got to pop a pill, you got to do something. Well, if you're living in that type of environment where you need something just to be able to cope, to be there, then you've got some blunt honesty that you need to do with yourself. Take over.
So we would like really to bring on an expert now, which is our wonderful Adam Goodridge from Goodridge and Company Interior Design. Now, we're delighted to have Adam with us because he works with clients all over the world, an international clientele, and he works actually at the moment in Barbados, where he's based, and he is a very passionate, wonderful man who has a huge flair to ensure that his clients get the best out of their space and enjoy the natural flow of energy. So we would like to bring Adam now into the studio so that he can just share with us his thoughts. And here he is. Hi, Adam.
Hello, Adam.
Hi, how are you guys?
Thanks so much for joining us.
We are
You're
super
very
well,
welcome.
Adam, and super well. And you look amazing.
I was
love
just
what you're
thinking,
wearing.
talk about environment. You got a beautiful environment behind you. You look like you're glowing. You've got some good sunshine happening on your body.
I'm in a pretty good space. I'm in my parents' apartment that's actually done up really well.
Lovely.
So tell us, you are Mr. Magnificent when it comes to environment. Tell us how important environment is and why the viewers should actually spend a little bit of time and energy and thought process on understanding the importance of their environment.
It's quite impactful. I mean, just before I came to this apartment in Sunset Crest, I lived in St. Lucie. I had no patio, no garden, and I pretty much stayed in my apartment. And it it wasn't good for me mentally or physically, emotionally. So when I moved here to Sunset Crest, I actually have a patio, I have a garden. I can enjoy those things. I can keep my front door open and enjoy the space, enjoy the breeze, enjoy the flow. And I feel so much better. There's so much more natural light coming into this place than before, and I love it.
So
Excellent.
how do you feel that that affects you as a person, as an individual? So not only when you're in your space and you get to enjoy it, but when you go outside, do you feel that living in the space now has changed the way you feel about yourself, or how your energy level, your health, your happiness level, when you go out and about and you're able to do other things?
It helps so much. I mean, I'm a outdoor person. You know, I love gardens. I love flowers, as you both know. So I actually love being able to sit outside and just enjoy the sun, the breeze, watch the people pass, and watch the crazy traffic and the construction go on. I actually quite enjoy it now. It makes my day. You know, whether I see one person pass by or an entire truck, it's just so much better to be outside and enjoy that space, enjoy that freedom. And my mind is so much more clear, more focused on everything. And I could be sitting down inside my apartment and think of, okay, what project am I working on for an interior design job? Or I could be outside sitting down thinking, okay, what flower am I going to pick today to make my day a little bit better from outside my home?
Lovely.
Right.
And we know that, Adam, you work with an international clientele. You know that there's a lot of people here who have multi-million-pound homes, and you know you can have a multi-million-pound home or you can have a shack. It doesn't matter which end of the spectrum you are. There are some key
Yeah.
things, some tips that you would have for people watching today, so that they can, whatever environment that they're in, how can they maximize how they feel? What kind of elements do you think are really important to put in the home?
I would recommend that if you have a tiny space to use a lot of mirrors. Mirrors open the entire room. I mean, right now in my apartment, it has mirrors on both sides. I mean, as you can see behind me there, it opens up the room, it opens up space. So in a small space, I would say mirrors help a lot. It makes the room feel even more inviting, more welcoming. So you can have as you said, a shack, but it be welcoming and inviting and cozy, friendly. Or you can have a mega mansion like what my clients have, and it could be stuffy, interesting, and just yes, they have the doors, they have massive windows, but it may not have the same feel as a cozy little shack. I mean, I prefer shacks rather than big homes. I love the big
Exactly.
homes, but
And as
big
far as
homes,
as far as plants and flowers, which is one of your passions, can you
yes.
recommend good plants and flowers that not only look good but may be very easy to maintain, and also have the natural essence or properties that help to boost the immune system or the senses?
Absolutely. I mean, something as simple as royal palm trees for me make my entire day. They're so towering, they're majestic, and I just enjoy to watch them. And I have a few in our area where we are, and I just love to sit and watch them. I mean, they take forever to grow. Don't get me wrong there, but they're magnificent. And I mean, it's quite hard to grow flowers here that I love. I'm a huge fan of white roses, and you can't grow them here. But my next best option would be tuberose, which there's a guy that lives near me. He grows them, and I'm so surprised that for a beautiful flower, it actually grows here. It's amazing, and he grows them, and they smell lovely. They've changed my apartment space, vibe, energy, and spirit in the last week. I love it. Flowers do help.
They do,
Yes.
and they soften a space as well. What about smell? Because I think with the environment, smell is really, really important. Is there sort of some ways that people can make their home smell delicious and easily?
Um, I would. A lot of tropical flowers, for example, don't have too much smell, but if you can grow them, I would recommend. It's called the shampoo ginger. It's a type of tropical plant that we do grow here, and it's amazing. You will have to actually squeeze the flower itself to get the scent, and the scent remains on you. So I wouldn't recommend touching your clothes afterwards. Just wash them. But they grow here, and I've actually introduced the shampoo ginger into so many clients' gardens and private yards, and even in their patios to their bedrooms because it smells amazing. So anybody that can get hold of a shampoo ginger plant, do it. It smells amazing. It will change your whole aura, your energy. It smells amazing.
Awesome. And what about big green leafy plants? So earlier in the show, we were talking about detoxing the environment because of the products that we might be using or cleaners or those type of things. What plants would you recommend as far as a big green leafy plant to clean the air and detoxify?
That's a pretty good question. It's so hard to say. Mm, there's one particular plant that grows up in St. Thomas, but I never remember the name of it, and I'm terrible for that reason. I always have to call that local supplier. I'm like, do you remember the plant I got 2 weeks ago, the big green leaf? And he's
The
like,
pretty
yes.
one with the big leaves. Yeah, you sound like me. Don't know what it's called, but
I
absolutely.
never remember the name at all. So I feel so bad not knowing the name, but I will literally take a picture and circulate
Okay,
it.
what about something that maybe isn't natural for only in Barbados, but for viewers who are watching from different places around the world, where maybe could they find different plants? Do you feel that plants generally, big green leafy plants, would generally be cleaning and detoxifying the air and putting out healthy oxygen?
Absolutely. For me, the bigger the better. It's it also, it breathes more, but it also covers more area for shade, for example. So I prefer the bigger leaf
So the
plants.
bigger and greener the leaves, the better.
Yeah.
And if
And it's
somebody at the moment, Adam, is sitting there now and looking around their front room, they're watching us here on Rejuvenesce TV, or they're just sharing with their friends and, saying, jump on and find out what's going on, then what can somebody do if maybe they're renting a space or it's not their space, but they want to have a quick fix to make themselves feel really comfortable? What soft furnishings would be great just to change a space or change a season without spending tons of money? What would you suggest? What would be like your top 4 things that you go, right, get that?
I always recommend you just change the carpet if you have a carpet in your living room. That changes so much to the room. Your throw cushions. You don't have to
Cushions.
spend
You
a
see,
lot.
a man after my own heart. Cushions.
You don't have to spend a fortune on throw cushions, but throw cushions do change the entire vibe of the room for sure. And I always tell people, instead of actually changing the entire table lap, just change the shade.
Nice.
That's all you have to do. And once you change the shade, if you give it a good pattern, or if the fabric has texture to it, like a gold leaf or silver leaf, which I love, it changes the entire style, but the feel of the room. It gives it a good facelift.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, I think Adam, that you've really shared with our audience, who is all over the world. So unfortunately, everyone doesn't have a backdrop of Barbados and lots of tropical plants and can go and bash down a coconut tree. But it's really important that people understand that whatever environment they're in, to actually use the resources around them for the season, for the culture, that is reflective of them as a person. And any final sort of hot tips from you today that you would recommend that everyone always had in their home? Is there one thing that everyone should have in their home?
I would say flowers. Flowers can change anybody's day. I mean, there's a older lady, she lives not too far from me. She's single, she's in her 70s. And every Friday I carry fresh tuberose for her, and she loves it. And I hate to say, she doesn't smile often, but when she gets the flowers, she actually does smile and she actually enjoys them. So I would say to anybody, if you can, whether it's a small arrangement, a hand tie, or a huge arrangement in a vase.
Or even wildflowers from somewhere, right?
That's exactly it. Well, because right now a lot of the flower shops are closed here in Barbados because of lockdown. I just recommend anybody go around your surrounding areas, just cut them, and you will enjoy them.
So you help people online as well. So say if somebody in New York or somewhere in a different part of the world wanted some guidance from you, how would they get a hold of you?
I do a lot on social media through my Instagram. And a lot of people contact me there for sure. It's just my name is Angarich 1989. So it's quite easy to find me. And then people can get my number as well. You know, it's quite simple. It's
We'll share
246.
it, everyone. We'll
Yeah,
share it.
you can send it to us and we'll post it underneath this video.
Yeah, it's, you know, and I'm very easy to contact, and I have clients all over the world. You know, I have a lady that she actually is from New York. I just met them last season, and they're coming back and they're like, okay, we want the entire apartment changed and we want fresh flowers. Sure, no
Amazing.
problem.
Nice. All right.
Adam, we can't wait for that tuberose to arrive.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're very
And,
welcome.
thank you, Charlie, for having that up. And we'll ask Adam to take a step down now. And hopefully people have learned lots from your wisdom today. Thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
So, you know, some really wise words from a great interior designer who has a huge passion for using fresh flowers in the home. And I would totally agree with him. It can change everything, and it can certainly put a sparkle if on your desk, or
Yep.
if you're working from home, it can change everything. So-
But let me just say, the key thing is, remember that you are a unique individual. So if you don't like flowers and you think, oh, I have to now put flowers in because these professionals say that flowers are good. Now, find what works for you. You know, if you don't like flowers, don't use flowers. Maybe you prefer plants or pictures or other things, lighting or sculptures or whatever. Find what works for you and what brings you joy. So when you walk into that room, it's like, you feel good and it inspires you to be there rather than a stress.
And if you do have a garden, then that's also an extension of an area that you can again really utilize. And we're going to go into spring and summer over the next few months, and certainly, you know, creating a space that is again a sanctuary. It's calm. It's going to help you to be creative and to just breathe fresh air, and again have somewhere that you can really relax is so important. So I think we've kind of covered the fact that it's all the senses.
It is.
And so, you know, just recapping, you just recap on all the senses that you would really look at would be certainly the sense of smell, making
Sight first.
Sight first.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah.
So we
Sight first. When you first walk in, how does it make you feel? Do you feel, oh, this is awesome, I'm really happy to be here? Or, I don't feel so awesome, I don't feel so good being here? Because that, from that point on, is going to affect everything. And each one of the senses are equally as important, right? If you walk into a place and it looks awesome, but it stinks. Yeah. Or like Sue said earlier, there's sounds that are just driving you nuts. What the heck? What's that sound? What's that sound? It's driving me crazy. You know, so be aware. You have 5 senses. Use them and be aware of them. And when you are feeling not so good about something, you will automatically know something needs to change. Something needs to change. And be honest with yourself about that.
Well, if the smell in your home is something you're like, well, how do I address that? The last thing you want to do is go and get one of those spray cans of chemical smells, or something that you can buy off a shelf that is nasty and chemical and full of toxins. Ideally, some essential oils, and get one of the aroma diffusers.
Yeah.
Where
Don't use anything that heats the oils because it destroys the oil. So the aromatherapy burners and the things that go on light bulbs and that, don't use those.
And something to refresh the home. Say that you've just cooked fish in your house and it really smells of fish, and you've got your best friend coming round. Lemon, the essential oil of lemon is wonderful to cut through that smell, and just a few drops in the diffuser, and it just literally clears the air. Equally, if you have had an argument with somebody in your home, clear the air. Literally, that saying really does mean clear the air. Open the windows, let the oxygen flow through, and again, maybe burn some incense, light a candle, put some essential oils into the room, things like frankincense, sandalwood, geranium, rose geranium, rose oil. All of them are
Pine,
really, really beautiful.
Cedar, the
Yeah.
woods.
Yeah, and so just try and use natural elements in your home rather than bringing on even more chemicals and You know, you saw in that slide how many chemical toxins we are exposed to every single day, and so much more that we don't even realize when we leave our home environment. So we've got the element of sight, we have the area of smell, and then sound. As we said, you know, if you are in your home, create a space where it's quiet, it's peaceful, maybe have a moment in time when you have time to meditate, and you just, if somebody's music is really quite loud and annoying you, play some different music where it's a different vibration.
Even natural sound effects like running water. You know, a lot of times I'll pipe running water through my house because it pretty much eliminates all the outside noises. Or rain. I happen to love the sound of rain, especially at night. You know, I find it very calming and relaxing. So but you can do bird sounds, you can do the sound of the ocean. I mean, there's endless. Find a sound that appeals to you, and you'll be surprised on how natural sounds. Again, we were talking about vibration in the last show, but that natural vibration that comes from natural sounds will eliminate any kind of thumping, pounding, negative, you know, buzzing types of noises that actually offend your hearing.
And then we have the element of touch. And again, it's very important that, you know, you choose natural fabrics, you choose things where, you know, you don't have a nylon carpet on the floor, for instance, that you have textures that are reflective of the environment that you're in to keep you warm or to keep you cool, whatever you're trying to do. Just really be aware of all of those things, and that brings us perfectly with the element of touch.
Yes, back to body wisdom.
Back to body wisdom.
Yes.
And if you've been following the Rejuveness TV over the last couple of weeks, you will have seen that Reg Lenny has developed a modality called Body Wisdom, and it's a modality that he teaches professional practitioners, but also he teaches everyone so that you can learn how to really look after yourself and be aware of your body. If you're in alignment, how you're sitting, how you're feeling, where there's stress in your body, and actually work through that so that you are more self-aware and you can do the adjustments yourself. Obviously, a professional practitioner can take you far, far deeper into that discipline, but it's certainly something that is very unique. We've both been massage therapists and holistic practitioners for many, many years, and do a lot of work on our clients with hands-on. We teach and train all over the world, but it starts with everyone understanding how important it is to understand our body. I wish they taught it in schools.
They should.
Where, you know, meditation, yoga, and massage for all 5-year-olds, as far as I'm concerned, should be on the curriculum. And then we'd have a lot healthier human race. So you're never too old to really learn something new. And as you sit here right now in the comfort of your own home, and hopefully you've shared this, if you've got friends, please do send them this link so that they can jump on the TV program with us today here at Rejuveness TV, or follow us on Facebook or our Instagram at Rejuveness, and really discover that journey of really ultimate health and wellness by really being aware of your senses, and certainly the touch element is so important. So, Reg, today, what are we doing with Body Wisdom?
Well, the last couple of shows I've been talking about touching others, and there is a lot of power and a lot of healing in that. Whether I'm not talking to become a professional therapist if you have no interest in that, but just the simple fact of touching. You know, if somebody's feeling stressed, like we showed you the other day how Sue was having a hard time with her neck, she'd have some pain in there, and I touched a little bit in the neck, and I was telling you, you know, some of the feelings that you might have and what you might feel and the different layers in the body. Well, today what we're going to do, instead of focused on others, is we're going to focus on ourselves. So what I want you to do is get yourself nice and set up in the chair. Doesn't matter if you're sitting on a couch or in a chair or whatever you're sitting on or sitting in, even if you're sitting on the floor, and get your bum sitting flat so that you can feel the sit bones that you're sitting on. And put your feet directly below your knees so that your knees are coming out and going straight down to your feet, and your feet are connected with the floor. Now open up your feet so that you spread your toes apart and push down into the floor just ever so gently. You're not pushing really hard, but you're pushing enough just so that you're well connected with the floor, that your feet aren't slipping around. Then all I want you to do is very gently kind of rock your foot back and forth so that you feel the heel of your foot moving on the floor. Now, you're not moving the foot. You're not going like this so that the foot is moving from where it is, but you're staying in the same spot, but you can just feel that foot moving from side to side or front to back or however you want to do it. You can do little circles one way or the other, and you'll feel, especially in the heel part of your foot, that bone, your heel bone, will actually feel like it's floating. So you feel the skin part that's actually touching the floor and the bone part that's kind of floating around in there. And that's the feeling I want you to be aware of, is that floating type of feeling. Because you can feel that through your entire body, wherever that you want to focus on, whether it be your rib cage. So for example, if you take a deep breath, your rib cage should be like a balloon. So when you blow up a balloon, you see a balloon get big and it gets round. It doesn't just get long, unless you're working with those types. But a normal balloon, when you blow it, it changes shape and it gets bigger. Now your lungs are exactly the same. As you take a deep breath, you want to feel it getting wider in the sides, lifting up in the top, and also coming up from the bottom. You'll feel that diaphragm. And you want to be aware of that, taking big, big, deep breaths. Now again, let's come back. You're sitting on your seat bones. Your feet are flat on the floor, so you're able to kind of move them around. Now with the feet firmly planted on the ground, you can engage the legs ever so gently, so that when you push your bum back, you can push from side to side, and you'll find exactly what sit bones you're sitting on and where you're putting your pressure, right? Then be aware your ears, your shoulders, your hips should be in alignment. So again, pull your chin back just a little bit. I'm going to turn my chair a little bit sideways just so you can see what I'm talking about. If I sit like most people normally sit with the head forward, you'll see that my neck is now curved, and I also feel a curve in my lower back. Most people sit like this, especially if they're working on a computer, right? So now these tiny little muscles that are in the back of your neck need to hold up your head, because your head is quite heavy and it weighs a lot. So if you're like this all day long working on a computer, these neck muscles are going to get very tight, very sore, as is probably your mid to lower back and the lower back around right the opposite side of your belly button. So by simply pulling your chin back, that's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not moving my shoulders. I'm not moving anything else. So going from that kind of a position, you can see that my shoulders are rounded and my back is a bit rounded. If I just pull my chin back, all of a sudden that now takes all the pressure and stress off my shoulders, my lower back, my mid back. And now I'm working with gravity. And there's the magic word right there, gravity. If you can imagine you're holding a ball on top of a broomstick or anything that, similar to that, that you need to be directly below. Or if you pile up rocks on the beach, that bottom rock is off, then all the rocks above it have to be very twisted in order to find that balance. Well, your body's exactly the same. So if your head is sitting on your shoulders properly, you're immediately going to let go of all the tension and stress that might be coming through your neck, front and back, through the shoulders, through your mid back, and your lower back. So get yourself nice and square on that, and then from there you can just do stretches. You can bring yourself up and lean from one side to the other and feel what's moving. Now this is called body wisdom. You know, I've only got a few minutes on TV here, and it's a little bit difficult to rush through something like this, so we don't want to rush it. We want you to take step by step, little by little. So today's journey, basically, get your feet flat on the floor, see where you're sitting on your bum, where do you feel those seat bones, you know, one side or the other, or are they flat? Bring your bum forward, bring your bum back, do that little pelvic tilt. Find out where your rib cage is. When you breathe, you're expanding the rib cage. You're pulling that chin back so that you're in gravity and you're relieving all the stress and pressure on your body. And that's where you can feel that your body is now in a relaxed position. Because as soon as you come out of that relaxed position, even something simple as bringing your head forward, all of a sudden you're burning energy. So if you get to the end of your day at work and you think, I'm wiped, I've done nothing but sat at my computer all day and work, but I'm drained, I have no energy, I feel terrible, I'm tired, that's why. Because you might not be actually up physically doing things, but your body is working really hard to maintain all that stress. And that doesn't matter if you're a clencher, if you clench your hands, maybe you clench your teeth while you're writing, or you lean forward or whatever. That drains you of energy faster than anything that you will ever become aware of, right? So be aware that you're sitting in gravity, and that you're comfortable, and that your body is in a position where you just feel relaxed, and you can sit there all day without any stress and pain. If you're feeling pain, because you're out of balance. It's really that simple. So we'll leave body wisdom at that today. And that's my challenge for you until the next show, is to feel how you're feeling in your body. Reconnect with yourself.
And I think it's, if you have been sitting at your desk all day, this is a great thing. Set an alarm on your phone so that every 15, 20 minutes, you just check in with your body to make sure that you're comfortable, making sure that you have a really supportive chair if you're sitting at it all day at the right height. Really important.
My suggestion even, I'm going to argue just a little tiny bit.
Don't sit on the chair.
My suggestion is you get rid of your chairs. Buy yourself a big exercise ball. Everybody laughs at me when I say that, but my top corporate executives and professional athletes and people that I work with who are on a very high level of mental and physical performance do not sit on a chair, an office chair. They're one of the worst things that you can do for yourself. Because these new fandangled chairs, just like Sue said, I mean, that's kind of the training that we've all had. Get yourself a chair that supports every aspect of your body so that your body doesn't have to do anything. You just plop yourself down in the chair and the chair does all the work for you. Well, that's actually the worst thing that you can do for yourself. That's why your body is getting sore and sore and weaker and weaker. Like that old saying, you don't use it, you lose it. So get rid of the chairs, get yourself a big exercise ball and blow it up big enough so that you're sitting again at a 90-degree angle. Your knees are bent at a 90-degree angle. You can put your feet on the floor. And I promise you by the end of the day, you'll feel more energized than you did before. Aches, pains in your body are going to start going away because that ball naturally keeps you sitting upright. And you can do little exercises. You move your bum side to side. You can do little sit-ups. You can do little circles, all kinds of things. So now you're engaging your muscles and you're getting your body to work rather than plop down like a vegetable that doesn't move at all, right?
No, agreed. I agree. And also you can stand and work as well. I think a lot of people are now, if you are in an office situation, obviously, they are standing at their desk as well for periods of time and moving around a bit.
Yes.
And, if you're having to integrate this into your home life because you're working from home, then again, looking at your environment, how can you make those slight adjustments that are going to make a massive difference to the impact of your health and well-being? And of course, exercising regularly, making sure that phone goes off just to remind you to stretch or move around or do star jumps or whatever it might be, drink water. It's really important that your environment, as we've been saying all day, really does help you in your quest to be the best version of yourself. And really you do need to design your lifestyle around what makes you happy, what makes you healthy and makes you really well. So we trust that, that's helped.
Yes, and to help out in that department, we've got the book, Be You. And it really is, it's not a program that you need to fit into your life. Be You is all about guiding you through creating your perfect life, to live the life you love in the body you love to live in. And this book will step you through it. It's very simple and easy strategies and techniques to guide you through that. And if you go onto the website, rejuveness.com, you can get it on there, as well as the other little booklets about exercises that don't feel like exercises, creating the healthy home, essential oils and environment, plants and detoxing. So we've got all these different information, because I know we cover a lot of stuff in this show and we're going to continue to do it and touch on these. But we've got all the supplements and supplies and support that you need on the website in order to help you out as well. So do check out rejuveness.com to find the book and the help that you need. And you can also always reach out to us, because that's our passion, is to help you to be the happiest, healthiest version of who you are. So we're here for you. Reach out anytime.
So thank you for joining us on rejuveness.com today on Rejuveness TV. And we're going to be back on Monday, Wednesday and Friday of next week. And that's 1 o'clock in Eastern Time. And do share this link with your friends. It's available on YouTube, on the Rejuveness YouTube channel, so that you can send it on or watch it later, go back over it. And again, if there's anything that we've chatted with you about today that you've resonated with and you want more information for your personal well-being, then do reach out to Reg and myself so that we can help you individually to support you and your family to really create the environment that you're looking for, to make some really healthy choices and big changes to the lifestyle that you're leading at this moment, because you really want to achieve that ultimate health and well-being. So it's been our pleasure today to really share with you some of the knowledge. We'd like to say a huge thank you to Adam Goodrich, our interior designer, who jumped on and gave his top tips today, and to Charlie, our producer. So have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Goodbye.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.